We are made in the image of God. Everyone. The husband is made in the image of God. The wife is made in the image of God. And so when we are dealing with each other, we need to understand that we are dealing with God's image. And there's a way that a product of God or an image of God needs to be handled. And abuse, it was Dr. Miles Monroe who said that abuse is basically abnormal use. Abnormal use, abuse. And that brings it into perspective that abuse just means that you are not handling this thing the way it is meant to be handled. You are mishandling or malhandling it. And I would say that nobody was born an abuser. No one was born an abuser. We become abusers by our upbringing, the things that we see, while growing up, the things that we hear while growing up, they all have effects on us. Abba talked about voices in her book. The voices that we hear, they have effects on us, whether we know we are aware of them or not. And so the things that we watch on movies and all that, they all affect us. So over time, we begin to normalize some things that are actually abnormal. And we think that it's okay, it's acceptable. Oh, I've seen it happen a few times and it's acceptable. Now, so we can unlearn the things that we have learned. But we have said that mindsets take a very long time to change. Because, I give the illustration of the cement, the mortar and cement. As we are growing up, our thought processes and everything is like mortar, it's fluid. But once we grow up and become adults, they become either like the mortar has been poured, the wind has blown over it, and it's now hardened into cement. So to reverse cement, to undo cement, it's not an easy task. So this is not something that I've overcome it. That's why the cycle is there. When the person is abusive and then says, "Oh no, I've stopped, I've repented, honestly, I've changed my ways," and the person may be so loving, that is a love bombing that you mentioned last week, the last time. It's a love bombing. They become more loving, excessively loving. And they will throw gifts at you and all that, but then
to try and show that they have repented truly.
But the cement cannot be undone overnight. So I just want to say that it's something we all have to learn. And actually, we are all candidates. We are all candidates as perpetrators of abuse, knowingly or unknowingly. A lot of us are doing it unknowingly, I would say. A lot of us are doing it unknowingly. I mean, all these things about criticizing, mocking each other, doing things that makes the other person uncomfortable. Anything the other person is uncomfortable with, but it's that is being repeated.
Silent treatment.
Yeah. Anything the other person
I won't mind him. I won't mind her.
They are toxic behaviors.
There was this discussion on my Facebook page, I think when I posted a statistic, that I used the phrase, "If you must leave, take precautions." The phrase that the statistic about.
Yeah, that's what you said. About 75% of women who choose to leave abusive relationships end up being something.
No, there is 75% increased risk.
Okay.
Of being killed.
Yeah.
When you leave. And yeah, there is a 75% increased risk. And somebody picked up on the phrase, "if you must leave." And I meant it. I really, really meant it. It is not all cases of abuse that should lead to leaving. We have to understand that there is a huge range of behaviors that are classified as abuse. And there are different levels of severity. But then there are situations where the couple just need to learn, They just need to learn about communication skills. They just need to learn about conflict resolution.